The movie opens with a woman named Iris grocery shopping in a supermarket. She comes across a guy named Josh, with whom she instantly feels connected. Josh nervously tries to speak to her, but accidentally knocks over a pile of oranges. This makes the two laugh, and Iris narrates that there were two moments in her life when she found her true purpose. The first was the day she met Josh, and the second, surprisingly, was the day she killed him. The scene then cuts to some time later, when we see that they are now a couple, and are driving off somewhere. They soon arrive at a luxurious lake house in the middle of the woods, where they intend to spend the weekend. Before entering, Iris becomes nervous because Josh's friends will be there, and someone named Kat hates her. She worries she will do something stupid and embarrass Josh, but he assures her that she'll be fine. An excited Kat then warmly hugs Josh, but gives Iris a cold shoulder, making the situation awkward. Once inside, Josh meets another one of his good friends, Eli, and his boyfriend, Patrick. Shortly after, a Russian man named Sergei arrives, and turns out he is the owner of the house. But he creepily stares at Iris, making her extremely uncomfortable. She thus excuses herself, and heads to the guest room to take a shower and relax. In the evening, the group gathers for dinner, and Patrick recounts the story of how he met Eli at a Halloween party. He admits that in that moment, something inside him clicked, and his life suddenly made sense. Iris shares that something similar happened to her when she met Josh. It was as if a piece inside her that was broken was suddenly fixed. Afterward, Iris and Kat talk privately, and we learn that Kat is dating Sergei, although he's married. Kat reveals that she's only with him for his money, even though he's a terrible boyfriend and a misogynist. Here, Iris suddenly asks if Kat doesn't like her, and the latter admits it, and explains that it's because Iris makes her feel replaceable. A surprised Iris responds by praising Kat's personality, and assuring her that no one can ever replace her. Soon after, Eli puts on some music, and encourages everyone to dance. During this, Kat and Josh appear close, which makes Iris feel jealous, so she pulls him away to dance with her alone. Later, the two are seen making love, and afterward, Iris expresses how happy she's to be with him, but Josh isn't in the mood to talk and simply orders her to go to sleep. The next morning, when Josh asks Iris about the weather, she gives him the forecast in such detail, like 72 degrees, with an 83% chance of rain in the evening. She then tries to convince him to accompany her to the lake, but Josh claims he's hungover and encourages her to go alone. We also see him slip a small knife into her pocket without her knowledge. Once she's out of the house, Josh plugs a USB drive into his cell phone. When Iris reaches the lake, she discovers the knife in her pocket and is left confused. Suddenly, Sergei shows up and greets her with a good morning, while staring at her inappropriately. This makes Iris uncomfortable, and she tries to leave, but he stops her and requests that she apply sunscreen to his body. She reluctantly obliges, but the situation takes an unexpected turn when Sergei forcibly holds her hand. Iris begs him to let go, but he responds that it was Kat's idea, and starts kissing her. Later, the rest of the group is chatting inside the house when Iris suddenly returns, covered in blood. Everyone is shocked, and Iris explains that she didn't intend to do it, but Sergei forced himself on her. Kat storms off to find Sergei, while Iris drops the knife on the floor and tries to explain what happened. In a flashback, we see that when Sergei tried to assault her, Iris struck him with an alcohol bottle, causing him to hit his head on a rock. The enraged man quickly got up and started strangling her, so, in a desperate act of self-defense, Iris pulled out the knife and stabbed him in the neck. Iris frantically explains that it wasn't the pain of being strangled that prompted her to take this action, it was actually the thought of not being able to see Josh again. And then this happens.
Iris, go to sleep.
In a shocking twist, her eyes roll back in her head, and she immediately deactivates, revealing that Iris is actually a robot. We then see Patrick tying Iris's hands and feet to a chair. Eli and Josh then have a chat, during which Josh explains that Iris's condition could be a glitch, as companion robots are programmed not to cause harm. They decide to report everything to the cops, but in the meantime, Josh wishes to say goodbye to Iris. He then sits in front of her and asks her to wake up, which activates her again, and Iris pleads with Josh to trust her about what happened. But he says he believes her, as lying is not part of her programming. This confuses Iris, so Josh finally tells her that she is a companion robot, designed to fulfill emotional and physical needs. She expectedly doesn't believe this, so Josh pulls out his phone and makes her speak different languages.
Spanish.
Josh, no sé hablar español.
How
¿Qué
about
está pasando?
Chinese?
怎么回事?
He also reveals that everything Iris remembers, including attending college, working summer jobs, and even the day they met in the supermarket, is not real. They are just false memories implanted in her system to provide a backstory. Next, Josh begins to tell her what the day they met was actually like. Some employees of the company had delivered Iris as a package. She was programmed to be obsessed with him, and Josh had complete control over her behavior. He could change her voice, intelligence, and even reset her to factory settings by pressing a fingerprint sensor behind her right ear for 5 seconds. Josh then signed a user agreement, synced his phone with her, and established a love link between them. Upon hearing this, Iris is still skeptical since she can feel different emotions such as pain, anger, and sadness. But Josh reveals it is merely programming, and points out that even her tears are just water. Their conversation is interrupted by Kat, who is outraged to see that Josh has turned Iris back on. But he takes her aside for a private conversation, and explains that he just wanted to say goodbye to his robot girlfriend. He is excited that their plan worked out, and all that remains is to reset Iris' settings and turn her off. While they're talking, Iris desperately tries to free herself, and reaches for the knife she dropped earlier. Later, when Josh returns to Iris, he finds her lying on the ground. She abruptly hits him in the throat, causing him to scream in pain. Iris then notices his phone, which controls her, and immediately grabs it. Before running away, she advises Kat to apply an ice pack to Josh, and take him to the hospital if his situation doesn't improve. Afterward, Josh and Kat meet with Eli, and Josh shows him a mod. He reveals that he used this to gain access to Iris programming, and increase her aggression and self-defense capabilities. This shockingly reveals that he manipulated Iris into killing Sergey, and Kat was also involved in the plan. Josh insists that they need to find Iris before her manufacturing company, Empathix, does. But Eli starts questioning why they would do such a horrible thing. In response, the two take Eli and Patrick to Sergey's safe, which Kat opens with a passcode. It turns out to be filled with $12 million, which leaves Eli in shock. Josh offers to split the money 3 ways in exchange for his help in finding Iris. However, Eli argues that Patrick must also be involved and receive his share of the money. This leads to an argument between them, during which Eli unexpectedly shuts Patrick down. It is then revealed that Patrick is also a robot, which is why Josh is refusing to pay him. After some arguments, Eli eventually agrees to help them and grabs a gun from Sergey's safe. Josh states the gun is unnecessary, as they only need to get close enough to put Iris to sleep and remove the mod from her system. But Eli points out that she has Josh's phone and knows his password, which makes her too dangerous. He wakes Patrick up and excitedly informs him that they are going on a robot hunt. In the woods, Iris uses Josh's phone to access her control panel, and disables the voice commands. She then starts messing around with the robot settings. In the end, she realizes her intelligence level is set to 40%, and increases it to 100%. Meanwhile, the group is desperately searching for her in another part of the woods. They decide to split into 2 teams to corner her from all sides, making it easier to attack her. On the other hand, Iris begins to predict what will happen in specific scenarios, and what she should do. After considering various options, she decides to return to the lake house without being discovered, and to use Josh's automatic car. The car is also controlled by Josh's phone, so it is her best option to return to the house in the city. Moments later, Eli notices Iris and Patrick's presence in the distance, so she hides behind a tree. Eli is furious that Josh altered Iris's programming to commit murder and didn't even bother to tell him. This upsets Patrick, and he asks if Eli would ever alter his programming. Patrick confesses that he has pieced things together over the years, and knows he is a robot. But he doesn't care because, in his mind, his memory of meeting Eli is real, and it's something he will always cherish. Upon hearing all this, Eli is shocked, and promises that he will never treat him the way Josh treats Iris. However, their moment is cut short when Josh's cell phone rings, giving away Iris' hiding spot. She quickly runs away, and Eli fires several shots at her, all of which miss. But Eli eventually catches up to her and launches an attack. The two fight over the gun, during which Iris is forced to shoot Eli dead in self-defense. This devastates Patrick, so Iris apologizes to him and flees, with Josh following her. Soon enough, Iris manages to get inside Josh's car, locking the doors, while Josh yells at her to come out. Iris orders the car to return home, but the computer doesn't obey, as it doesn't recognize her voice. Josh seizes this opportunity, and tries to break through a window with a rock. However, Iris modifies her voice using her settings, making it deeper and more masculine. After several attempts, she successfully matches his voice and drives away from there. And so, Josh uses Sergey's phone to report the car as stolen. Unfortunately for Iris, this causes the vehicle to become instantly disabled, and locks Iris inside. She then gets a call from Josh, who apologizes for being a shitty boyfriend. He suggests they go back to the way things were, and claims he can place all of the blame on Patrick. This makes Iris feel emotional, but she knows she can't trust him, so she decides to end their relationship, which leaves Josh frustrated. Next, Josh returns to the woods, where Patrick is in mourning for Eli. At this point, Josh uses Eli's phone to increase Patrick's aggression to max, and commands him to find Iris and retrieve his phone. But the distraught robot doesn't obey his voice commands, so Josh resets his system. Josh then establishes a love link with Patrick, and plants false memories in his head to make it look like they are lovers. Elsewhere, Iris is trying to break the car windows when a police car passes by. She gets out, but runs into an officer. The officer, Hendricks, stops her for interrogation, and since Iris cannot lie, she switches her language settings to German. She reveals the whole truth in German about how she left Sergey's house after killing him, but the officer can't understand her. Just then, Hendricks spots the bloodstained knife in the car, and immediately arrests her. Iris notices Patrick approaching from a distance, and tries to warn the cop. But Patrick grabs Josh's cell phone and turns off Iris. Shortly after, Patrick returns to the house in the police car, and takes an inactive Iris inside. Kat and Josh check the vehicle, and are shocked to find the dead officer in the trunk. Kat has now had enough, and decides it's best to take her share of the money and escape. Josh urges her not to overreact, but she complains about how she regrets plotting Sergey's murder. Kat then proceeds to leave, prompting Josh to instruct Patrick to stop her. Unfortunately, the aggressive robot misunderstands the order and stabs her in the back. This shocks Josh, and he tries to apologize, but Kat refuses to talk and staggers to the couch, where she collapses beside Iris. Soon, night falls, and Josh sits down to enjoy a dinner prepared by Patrick. Iris is on the side of the table, and Josh wakes her up since she's handcuffed to the chair. He informs her of Kat's death, and asks if she believes her life is more worth than that of actual humans. Iris responds that she only wanted to live, and claims that Josh is the one who caused everything because of his greed. Offended at being judged by a robot, Josh reduces Iris' intelligence to 0, and orders her to place her hand parallel to the table. He then puts a lit candle under it, since Iris claims she knew what pain feels like. Iris feels the fire burning her skin, and Josh leaves her there while he takes a phone call. It turns out to be the employees of Empathix, who are nearby and will arrive soon. Here, Iris's hand begins to burn badly, so Josh orders Patrick to put out the fire. In the end, he hands Iris a gun, and orders her to point it at her head and pull the trigger. She shows a bit of reluctance at first, but eventually obliges and shoots herself. Not long after, 2 employees named Sid and Teddy from Empathix arrive to collect Iris. Josh makes up a story about how she was jealous of his friendship with Kat, prompting her to kill all his friends. He has even dressed up Patrick as a cop, and introduces him as Deputy Hendricks, who appeared to help. However, Sid reveals that they will review Iris' video footage, as everything the robot sees and hears is recorded to prevent fraud. Josh claims it's impossible, because she shot herself in the head, but Sid claims that all of the important hardware is located near the stomach. They will load her into the van and can reboot her system to check what happened. Upon hearing this, Josh freaks out as he realizes he's truly screwed. After placing Iris in the van, the employees prepare to drive away. But they are shocked when they notice Patrick standing in the middle of the road.
He's a.
Patrick fires multiple shots that instantly kill Sid, and he pursues Teddy, who runs into the woods. Meanwhile, inside the van, we see that Iris has been completely rebooted, and she wakes up again. Soon enough, Patrick catches up to Teddy and proceeds to strangle him to death. Iris arrives and tries to electrocute Patrick, but he easily overpowers her. He then tries to shut her off, but Iris reveals to him that he has actually been manipulated by Josh, who's just using him like he used Iris. She informs Patrick that his real lover is actually Eli, who is now dead. Patrick accuses her of lying, but she reminds him that she can't lie according to her programming. This shocks Patrick, and he gradually begins to recall his memories with Eli. These memories leave him heartbroken, and with no reason to continue, he deactivates himself. Afterward, Iris notices Teddy and says she needs his help. Meanwhile, inside the house, Josh is packing up all of Sergey's money and preparing to leave. But he soon hears music coming from outside the room and investigates, only to discover that Iris is still alive. She tells him that she made a new friend named Teddy, who gave her full control of herself, meaning Josh can no longer access her system. Iris then points a gun at him, but Josh believes she won't shoot, because she still loves him. Sure enough, Iris hesitates, and Josh seizes the moment to attack her and toss her around the house. In the end, Josh pins her to the ground. He says that although she was a pain in the ass, they shared some good moments, which he will always cherish. By pointing a gun at her, Josh asks Iris to say some last words. In a shocking turn of events, she grabs a corkscrew and drills a hole through his head. This causes him to collapse, and he eventually bleeds to death. The next morning, while showering, Iris peels the burnt skin from her hand and notices the mechanical inner workings beneath. She then changes into fresh clothes and collects all of Sergey's money. The movie comes to an end as Iris leaves the lake house in a fancy car, ready to start a new life. Thus, we reach the end of this movie. Thanks for watching. If you like the movie, support us. Don't forget to subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next movie. Goodbye.